everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the second episode in a little series I've started all about books. I love reading and reading is such a big part of my life. I didn't really show that side of me on YouTube that much and I kind of just thought I'd combine all the different types of book videos that you see from booktubers in one video. So we can keep up to track with what I'm reading, you can let me know what you're reading, and it's just a cute, fun book time. I have been reading a different genre this month and needless to say I am literally obsessed with it. I've never read a book so quickly in my life, I don't think. I'm excited to update you on all the book gossip that's been going on in my life. Let me know in the comments what books you have read recently and what is on your March TBR. Let's get on with the video. I'm really sorry if you can hear the rain. It's literally just started pouring down outside. Because I am a Kindle girly, I don't have this big satisfying book stack to show you. Not that it's that big or would be that satisfying anyway, because the amount of books I've read in February is 4. I feel like for me that's actually really good. Usually I'm quite a slow reader, but I have literally been obsessed with the book series I've been reading that I just haven't put it down, and I've been going to the gym more so that I can read my book on the treadmill or the Stairmaster. I'll go in order of what I read. Starting off was Onyx Storm. This was probably one of the most hyped book releases since I've been part of the book world, the book community. I don't think anything will beat reading Fourth Wing for the first time, because that book I literally cannot fault. When I was reading Onyx Storm I was getting so confused and I didn't remember who half the characters were, and I know that I wasn't alone in this. All over my For You page was other people saying how confused they were, but I was just kind of going along for the vibes. I wasn't getting stressed out that I couldn't remember what was happening. I was just trying to enjoy the book that I was reading. If I didn't remember or understand something, I just swiftly move on. It's not a big deal. Oh my god, it's so dusty in here. One of the main, not plot twists, but one of the main things about finding out who was the venin and was like leaking inside information, I didn't even clock. Like, I'm not going to say who it was, but I didn't even clock that that was who it was until I was like reading people's reviews. And I was like, how have I missed like one of the main plot lines completely? Like, I just didn't even clock. It ended on a cliffhanger. I still don't really understand it. The main theme here is I'm a little bit confused. I am most of the time, so I'm just like, it was still good. Let me get my Goodreads up. I can't remember. I definitely didn't rate this 5-star because it wasn't a 5-star for me because I didn't understand half of it. Okay, Onyx Storm I gave 4 stars. The review I actually put on Goodreads, which I never usually do. Felt so confused throughout most of it. Felt like I needed to reread both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame before reading this. Still enjoyed it, but nothing will beat Fourth Wing. I feel like that literally just sums up what I said here. And I used the word merp, like, merp. What the fuck is merp? Anyway, it was that sound. It's like, you're good, I'm waiting for you to be great. Cute, cozy, like it was nice being in that world with those characters, but like I just was like a little lost dog. And moving on swiftly, the next 3 books that I read, which is the last 3 that I read because I only read 4, are all part of the same series, which is the Legacy of Gods series. Now, I have never dipped my toe into dark romance at all, so I didn't really know what to expect. I knew the underlying themes of like, there was a bit of stalking, and I knew that there were like mafia people and it was interconnected standalones and they were about different people in different schools, and like I knew the baseline of it all, but I didn't kind of like realise the extent of it. So I've read 3. I've read the first 3 in this series. You can read them in any order, but I personally like reading things in publishing order just to avoid confusion. There's a theme here. And I feel like the first one, which is God of Malice, really, it kind of like sets the whole scene of their world. Can you still call it a world even if it's not fantasy? But it sets the scene of that whole situation, who everyone is a bit better. And if I hadn't have read the first one first, then I'd have been a bit confused in the others. So there's God of Malice, God of Pain, God of Wrath. In the first book we follow Glyndon and Killian. Just like, they're all a little bit stalkerish in each of the 3 books so far. If you get triggered by certain things, then make sure to check trigger warnings and stuff, because I fortunately don't get triggered by stuff that's in these books, but I know for some people they would. This is your warning just to check that. But like, these characters are so, well, the girls aren't, but all the boys are morally grey characters, just are so like entitled, snobby, because they all come from money and status and power and wealth, and they've all had their own little hardships and they've all got their own story, which is why I guess we have, what is there, like 6 or 7 books, because it follows each of the. God of Malice is first with Killian and Glyndon. God of Pain is second with Creighton and Anika, and then Book 3 is God of Wrath, which is Jeremy and Cecily. I think my favourite was definitely God of Malice, because you just don't know what to expect. So this is like your first exposure to the world and you're like, oh my god, like this is insane. The second one feels a lot lighter than the first one, and then the third one feels quite heavy again, if that makes sense, and it touches on more, I don't know, I just feel like there's more depth to the female characters in the first and third book. But I personally prefer Anika out of all the girls that I've read about so far. And I think my favourite boy is Jeremy. Some people are like Killian till the day they die, but I think I like Jeremy. They're all interconnected standalones. The whole underlying theme is that they're on this island called Brighton Island, which is off the coast of England apparently. I don't actually know if that's a real place or not, but anyway. There's kind of like two rival universities. One is full of like rich Americans and one of them is full of rich Brits basically, and they're like enemies, and they have kind of like powerful like, groups that are enemies within each uni, because it's just like alpha males and it's like very like aggressive, and there's like an illegal fight club, but there's like initiations into these individual clubs that get quite gruesome. Anika is American but goes to the British uni, and her brother Jeremy is like the leader of the like club of the American uni, but she gets in with the main group in the English uni, so obviously like it's a bit like don't know what's going on there. People end up falling for the people that they shouldn't in the main group of the rival uni. So that's kind of like, so far that's the underlying theme, is like they fall for people that they shouldn't. Everyone's got like their like protective person that they have to like overcome and like get their approval. So far it kind of follows that whole storyline. It's almost like each relationship has its own kink in a way, and so far it's been like 3 different kinks, and the first and third have been the most intense, and then the second one I don't think is as intense. Enjoyed these books way more than I probably should have. Dark romance, check the trigger warnings. Play my ratings, I feel like I just rambled on for so long. I gave God of Malice 5 stars, I gave God of Pain 3 stars, and I gave God of Wrath 4 stars. They're just so good, and I don't know whether to have a break from reading that series for a little bit and read some other things, or just finish them and read the rest of them in March. I don't know. If you watched my last video of me trying to get my sparkle back, I've just not been thriving recently, which I feel like is a phrase I use on YouTube a lot, but that just kind of like sums up how I'm feeling about life these days. But we're trying to get there, we're trying to live our best life, and I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful. I live an incredible life, but you can't help your mental struggles, do you know what I mean? Like, you can be the luckiest person in the world and still have a chemical imbalance in your brain, so just trying to sort my head out basically. And instead of reading, where's my book? Instead of reading full-on smut, I thought maybe I should read a self-help book because that will probably do more benefit for me than these like stalker sex books, do you know what I mean? I don't know if I can I say that word on the internet? Anyway, so we've gone for something different. We've gone for Make It Happen, and this is by Jordana Levin. I previously read this book and got probably like 3/4 of the way through it and just never finished it, because although I'm a self-care wellness mindset girl, I just have never finished a self-care book ever. So I thought, no, let's read this, and it's about the manifestation equation and basically doing lots of shadow work. It's quite a practical book about how to kind of get on the right vibration of life, attract like-minded things, and I just felt like I needed all the good vibes I could get. This isn't one that like binge, because it's a self-help book, like you want to like actually apply these teachings into your life. So I will start an actual reading book as well, but this is just something I'm reading in the background, and like when I go to the gym today, I'm going to try and listen to a podcast, because I feel like that I should be doing that, because I know it will benefit me more than reading the Legacy of Gods series, as much as I want to do that. So that's kind of my reading wrap up for February. And now on to next month's TBR. So, is it Elle Jarrett? I saw in her story it was a free 2-month subscription to BookBeat, and it was a certain amount of hours for free in audiobook, so I signed up for it. And I saw they've got every single audiobook that you could ever want and need. A few years ago I read How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie, and I really enjoyed it. I saw that she released a new book which is called What a Way to Go, and I think I'm going to start listening to that on audiobook. I feel like since reading the Legacy of Gods series, I'm kind of stepping out of my fantasy era just a little bit. I will go back into it, but I just read so many fantasies back to back. I was reading Quicksilver, Heavenly Bodies, Metal Slinger, Onyx Storm. I read the Caraval trilogy, what else? And then I hadn't long finished Throne of Glass. Like, I just was reading fantasy after fantasy after fantasy, Phantasma as well. Like, I just overdid it a little bit, so now I'm just trying to go back into the real world. I think I want to start the Mindfuck series because I've heard so many good things about it, and people that loved the Legacy of God series but would have maybe given it like a 4-star have rated the Mindfuck series 5-star. So this is a short little book that I thought would help me reach my reading goal a little bit quicker. It's a 60-page book. This is what I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think it's cheating to purposely read shorter books to hit your reading goal? Like, I wouldn't have read this. I saw that Sarah Caroli read this book and she said, leave it to Frederick Backman to make me giggle and fill things in just 60 pages. So I wouldn't really read that, but the fact I'd be able to tick off a book for my reading challenge for the year that's 60 pages, I don't know, like, I don't know if that's cheating or not. And like, I've counted this as a book, and like, to me, self-care and like self-help books don't count. I don't know why, but in my head I'm just counting like normal books. I don't know. Yeah, the answer is no by Frederick Backman. Was maybe going to consider reading that just as like a nice little short book to help up my reading count. I actually really want to read 1984 by George Orwell. I have the physical book here. Again, that might be one that I listen to on audiobook. I'm just feeling the more like real life, even if it's like dystopian ones, but I'm just kind of feeling more coming out of my fantasy vibe, because Song to Drown Rivers was on my February TBR, which I obviously haven't completed, but as I say, like, I've just not really been in my fantasy vibe, so maybe I'll just kind of like push that back to when I'm back in my fantasy vibe. Realistically, I probably will finish the Legacy of God series. So okay, I've got 3 left. So God of Ruin, God of Fury, God of War. If I say I've got those 3 books to read and the 2 audiobooks while still working on this, like, I feel like that's a good amount for me. And if I read the really short ones, then I do that, but I'm not, I don't know, for me that kind of feels like cheating, so I don't want to cheat. If you guys have any book recommendations that you think I would like based on what I've been saying in this video, then please let me know, because I'm always up for new books. My mind can be swayed so easily about books, so I'm always up for hearing new ideas, new suggestions, switching my TBR around. If also, I obviously haven't been doing like blind TBR, like picking out of a jar or getting my Instagram polls to pick it, but if you guys would like to see that, then obviously I can do that, but I don't kind of read enough to do that. I don't know, maybe you guys think I do, I don't know. Also, I will be doing a reading vlog this month because I just want to do that so badly, and just spend a day reading and vlog it, and like go out on a walk and listen to the book, and then read the physical book in a cafe, come back, read at home, read it on my Kindle in the bath, and then just be all cozy in the evening. Like, I just really want to do a video like that, so I'm gonna, because I have free will and I can do whatever I want. I also wanted to do a little bit of a special mention to some podcasts that I've been loving at the minute, because I know that people read for like a bit of escapism, and not everyone has a Kindle, but some people love being distracted or like don't just want to listen to music. So I'm always doing like a mini monthly faves in here. My girl Louise Green and her friend Millie have released a podcast called Hot Girl Shit, and even when I just look at the Instagram for it, I'm like, I'm a baddie. Like, it's just so empowering and gives you so much confidence. It's literally kind of like fitness, wellness, self-care, mindset, manifesting. Like, if you like me, then you'll love them, if that makes sense. I feel like they're similar vibes to me, but just more like confident baddie, if that makes sense. Like, loving that podcast. And also, I mentioned in a video, can't remember where or when, who, what, where, when, why, I have been loving the Daily Victorian and just all her content, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, and I discovered that she has a podcast called Soul Gum. I've literally only listened to 1 episode and I already love it, and it's the one I listened to was The Spiritual Reason Why You Can't Focus. I literally just it resonated with me so much, and it really like just calls to what I feel like I'm dealing with right now. Yeah, those are just some additional little things. Also have been listening to A Better You by Fernando Ramirez, but I've loved that podcast for ages. If there's any kind of like book related videos that you want to see, let me know, because I'm just kind of up for trying anything at this point. Just you say jump, I jump. Like, let me know what you want to see and I'll do it. Make sure to follow me on Goodreads to keep up to date with obviously all my reading journey and like my opinions and progress. I post literally every single day on my Instagram and my TikTok, so make sure to follow them if you don't already. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my February reading wrap up and my March TBR. If you did enjoy, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!